Hello everybody, Ace Channel here, and welcome back to another episode of MetroMania. In the last episode, Grusha was victorious over Olympia in a head-to-head battle of Ice versus Psychic. Of course, we have two more places in the quarterfinals left, and who's going to claim the first of those? As we have Valerie taking on Winona. We have a fairy-type specialist versus a flying-type specialist. This should be electric. Or fairy or flying. Aha! Here we go. Dragonite and Altaria starting things off for Winona. You sure she's not a dragon trainer? Well done. And we got Dash Bun. And I didn't see the other Pokemon, and the camera angles in this game are Garbo. I'm pretty sure it was Sylveon for Valerie. Beautiful Icy Wind there. Big damage on the Dragonite. Missed the Altaria though. Altaria now ready with the metronome is going to go for Hyper Voice. Oh, it was Klefki, lads. It was Klefki, not bloody... that's why you can't see it. Klefki going for the metronome here with Darkest Lariat into Dragonite there. And I'm now just realizing I can see Klefki. He's just really high off the ground. Love Scarlet and Violet. Hydro Pump avoided by Dash Bun there, so a wasted turn. But here comes Dash Bun now. What will it do in response? Goes for Aqua Jet into Winona's Altaria for a little tiny bit of not very effective chip damage there. Now Altaria is going to go for Blood Moon. Shades of Blood Moon Ursaluna into Dash Bun for a huge chunk of damage. Give me a huge subscribe as well. Cheers. Pop that bell on as well so you never miss a video. And here comes Klefki with the Glaive Rush into Dragonite to take it down. This is already heating up, even though it's an ice move. Shut up. That does mean Klefki's defense is down for the rest of the turn, but that's, you know, it is what it is. Here comes Flamigo for Winona. The Paldea Pokemon of choice, of course, for Winona, with the Co-Star, copying the stat changes, which I don't think have happened for Altaria, at least. Now here comes Dash Bun with Memento, going to knock itself out to lower Flamigo's attack and special attack by 2 stages. That's a brave play. That's a very bold play by Dash Bun there. So Dash Bun out of commission for the rest of the battle. And here comes Flamigo getting ready for its first move of the battle. What's it going to do? It's going to go for Block to stop Klefki from escaping. Although if it uses like U-turn or something, it'll still be able to escape. So it's kind of pointless in these battles. But Altaria firing off a Rain Dance. Very interesting play there. That means we're getting 100% accurate Thunders and Hurricanes. Reduced power to fire moves. Bullet Seed, though, 4 times resisted by Altaria and coming from a Klefki. Isn't going to do a great deal of damage at all, is it really? Let's be real. But we are getting 3 hits from it, though. So well done to Klefki, I guess, for getting the average. Here's Dedenne now, joining the field for Valerie. Jumping straight in with the metronome, and it's going to fire off a Payback. Not very effective into Flamigo. Barely registered on the HP bar there. Now Flamigo gets to retaliate. What will it do? Going to go for Heal Pulse. That's not a great way to retaliate, my guy. But luckily, it went into Dedenne, so it wasn't a completely bad turn. Altaria goes for Poison Fang. Super effective on Dedenne. Wouldn't have affected the Klefki at all. Lands the poison as well. The bad poison. That's the naughty toxic poison. And here comes Klefki now to finish things off with an Ice Beam. 4 times effective on Altaria. Brings it down to the red. Incredible play. And there's Dedenne taking that terrible poison damage, which is going to get stronger and stronger each turn. We have Winona dropping the Terastallization on the Flamigo, removing its fighting typing, changing it to a pure flying type Pokemon. So it takes the fairy weakness away from the Flamigo, so that's not a bad shout there. Here comes Dedenne now with the metronome. Goes for a Frost Breath that is super effective and will be a critical hit guaranteed into that Flamigo, bringing it down to less than half its max HP. And now Flamigo fires back. Goes for Vine Whip. It'll do a bit of damage to Dedenne. Not a great deal. Not same type attack bonus either. And now Altaria with the Struggle Bug. Going to hit both the opponents and lower their special attack by 1 stage apiece. Probably a good shout with the 2 Pokemon that are on the field. Not a terrible play at all by Altaria. Now what will Klefki do in response? Goes for Soap. Changing Altaria to a pure water type. I guess that's going to get rid of a lot of those pesky resistances. And now Dedenne just taking that bad poison damage. It's only getting worse for poor Dedenne as it fires off a rapid spin. Takes down Altaria though, and raises its attack, its speed, I should say, by 1 stage. So it's still the fastest thing on the field. But Altaria is down. Now it's just up to Flamigo. What will Flamigo do in the meantime? Goes for discharge. Not very effective on Dedenne, but decent into Klefki. Doesn't get the paralysis, though. And now Klefki fires back with just classic strength. Gets Flamigo down into the red. And who's coming in for Winona after Dedenne takes the poison damage? It's going to be Tropius, that beautiful tropical dinosaur boy, joining the field. Here comes Dedenne now with a low kick into Flamigo. It's resisted. It's not quite enough to take Flamigo down. And, of course, Flamigo now gets to retaliate. And it's going to go for a gravity. All the flying types are now grounded for the next few turns. And moves are pretty much, most moves are going to be 100% accurate. Pretty much. You know, there are some outliers, but we won't talk about those. Klefki now going for Focus Blast, which had more of a chance to miss if if gravity wasn't in effect. Although, you know, it's still resisted by Tropius, but it's nice to see Focus Blast actually land. Tropius goes for Leafage, not very effective into Klefki, that steel type paying dividends. The rain is gone, so that rain dance was completely useless. The poison has taken out Dedenne. That's another Pokemon down for Valerie. And what is next? Florges coming out for Valerie. Joining the field, the signature Pokemon of Valerie, I believe. And now we have Dragon Darts. Doesn't affect either of these fairy-type Pokemon. Shades of Dragapult there. And now we have the response. The first move, Stuffed Cheeks from Florges, was a completely pointless venture there. You've not lost any HP, so you've just eaten your berry. I guess it raised your defense. Why not? And now we have Floral Healing. That's a bad play by Klefki. Restoring 50% of Flamigo's HP there. So Flamigo now gets to survive for even longer. Here comes the Tropius now, who's going to go for Confide and lower the special attack stat of Florges, which Florges desperately needs to use. So that's not a good play there. Flamigo now with the Metronome goes for Force Palm into Klefki, maybe hoping to get the paralysis, but again, does not. Now Klefki has that Metronome ready to go. Goes for Freeze Dry. Super effective on Flamigo, but does barely any damage. Just doesn't quite register there. Now over to Florges. What will it do in response? Goes for Substitute. Not a bad play at all. Going to protect itself behind that lovely little Substitute doll that we all love so much. And now Tropius. How will it respond? Goes for Fissure, which is avoided by Klefki. That would have been a nightmare for Klefki, obviously. It would be a nightmare for anyone having to take that move. Light Screen up, though. Even more defense against special moves, especially with both Pokemon on the field being on Valerie's side, I should say. Put your teeth in, old man. Being at -1 special attack. Florges with the Metronome is going to go for Sandstorm, which is going to chip away at everybody on the field except for Klefki. So I can see the vision. I'm not sure it's the best vision, but it's certainly a vision. Now, Klefki follows up. It's got that Metronome ready. Goes for Hypnosis and lands it because gravity's in effect. Gravity Hypnosis actually happening in a Metronome battle is wild. So Flamigo will be asleep for the foreseeable future. And now it's over to Tropius. What will Tropius do? Goes for Frenzy Plant. At least it's same type attack bonus. Big move into Klefki. It does have a recharge turn. It works like Hyper Beam, though. Flamigo taking that Sandstorm damage. Now, Florges is going to take that Sandstorm damage, and the Substitute will not protect it. And, of course, Tropius will take Sandstorm Chip as well. Now it's once again... Oh, Flamigo's fast asleep, so we don't worry about that. Florges goes for the Metronome. What will Florges do here with this opportunity? We'll find out eventually. Goes for Brave Bird into Flamigo. Flamigo is going down. Beautiful in a beautiful cascade of crystals there. Good night, Flamigo. And now it's looking very dangerous as Florges takes the recoil damage there. Now Klefki to finish the turn with a play nice into Tropius. And then we're going to get some Sandstorm Chip as well. Down goes Tropius' attack by 1 stage. Tropius has to recharge. Can't do anything in this turn. Probably a good time to hear from our sponsors, if I'm honest. Just after this cheeky bit of Sandstorm Chip. Lovely. Allow me for just a moment to talk about the wonderful sponsor of this channel. As always, it's the absolutely wonderful GFuel! GFuel, as you probably already know, is a wonderful energy formula with barely any calories, 0 sugar, and a whole heap of wonderful flavors like the wondrous Raging Sun Demon Slayer flavor that I'm drinking today. The flavor profile of this one is kumquat, and I'm going to be honest, I have never tasted a kumquat in my life. So this flavor of GFuel was my first experience with the fruit kumquat. And may I say, it's absolutely bloody delicious. The best part about GFuel, though, of course, is that you can use our channel's code ACE, to save yourself 20% off your GFuel order, so you can support the channel whilst getting yourself the best damn energy formula in the game. And they also apparently help you try new fruits, because this is kumquat and this is absolutely banging. Thank you in advance to everyone that uses code ACE to save money on GFuel, because like if you're in the UK like me, it literally takes the cost of the shipping pretty much off the order, which is banging. I think it works out about 80 pence a serving if you actually like work it out yourself and be smart based on how much you've ordered. Remember though, GFuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine, and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead, dickhead. Oh, don't you just love Liam? What a classic member of this channel. Skarmory joins the field for Winona, and now Klefki gets ready with a sucker punch, but you can't use that in Metronome battles, you silly Billy. Silly Billy award handed right out. Here comes Florges now with the metronome. What will it do? It's going to go back behind the substitute and waste time. That's what it's going to do. Go for power swap. You know what? Sure. Actually, that's really good. No, actually, that's genuinely quite a good use of power swap, because it's swapping the attack and special attack changes. So Skarmory's now at -1 special attack, and Florges is back up to regular. So I'll eat my words. Dragon Pulse, not going to do anything to these fairy-type Pokemon, you silly Billy. Over to Tropius now. What will Tropius do? Big tropical boy. Misty Explosion. It's going to be resisted by Skarmory and Klefki. It might break the substitute, but I think that was a very ballsy play there. Bringing Winona down to just 2 Pokemon remaining. I'm not sure that was the best play there. Like, it didn't even get rid of the substitute. Oh dear. There's the Sandstorm chip for Florges. Here comes Pelipper. Is it a Drizzle Pelipper? No, it must be Keen Eye. Lovely. Florges going for the metronome there. What will Florges do? What will it select? It's going to go for Water Pulse into the Skarmory there for a little bit of chip damage. Very clean. And now we have Klefki following up. What will Klefki do? Will it build on what its partner's done? No, it will use Aurora Veil in the sand like an idiot. Well done. Classic noncery there by Klefki. And we see Will-O-Wisp coming out, but missing from Skarmory there. Or, I said, but it failed. So actually, no, it didn't miss. It must have gone for the substituted Florges. Here's a Brine from Pelipper that, I was about to say that barely registered. It hit the substitute. Liam, are you forgetting how substitute works? It's fine. I don't have to remember now because the substitute's faded. Lovely stuff. And then Florges gets buffeted by the Sandstorm, as will Pelipper during the end of this turn. Very lovely. We love a bit of Sandstorm chip. Now over to Klefki. What's Klefki going to do? It's going to go for Agility and raise its speed by 2 stages. It wants to be the fastest thing on the field. I'd have probably healed myself, to be honest, mate. To be honest, mate. Easy for me to say. Infestation from Valerie's Florges is going to lock the Skarmory on the field and give it residual infestation damage at the end of each turn. Skarmory goes for Leech Life, though. Barely registered on Florges, but, you know, it's a good effort. Gets a little bit of healing from that minimal damage that Florges took. And over to Pelipper now. What's Pelipper got on its mind? It's going to go for Clear Smog. It doesn't affect Klefki. Well done, mate. Excellent. And the Sandstorm has finally ended. No more Sandstorm chip, but we have the horrific infestation sound effect. Thanks, Pokemon. Please change that in the future. I haven't heard it in Champions yet. I wonder if it's changed in Champions. No more Light Screen for the Winona side. Magma Storm, not very effective on Pelipper, but still going to do a decent chunk of residual damage at the end of each turn. So Pelipper is on a bit of a timer here. Here comes the metronome from Florges for a Seed Bomb. Barely registers on Skarmory because it's 4 times resisted. Skarmory now brings up that metronome and goes for Psychic Fangs, chipping away at Florges. And the turn will finish with Pelipper here, who's going to go for Minimize, make itself even more difficult to hit by raising its evasiveness by 2 stages. There's that lovely infestation damage. And then here comes the Magma Storm chip as well onto the Pelipper. It's looking dire for Winona, but Winona could turn this round. Klefki goes for Inferno and absolutely misses. Well done, Pelipper, for raising your evasiveness. Klefki's now been on the field for 10 turns, eats its Leopard Berry to restore its PP. Haha, PP, very funny. And now Florges fires off a Psychic into Pelipper there for a big chunk of damage. It's not looking good for Pelipper in terms of longevity. And now Skarmory goes for Defog, and it's going to lower the evasiveness of this Klefki, make it easier to hit. Will that bode well for Pelipper? Will Pelipper be able to take advantage of it? Goes for Guillotine, and it misses. Even with the... it's not affected by the accuracy, the evasiveness drop there, so that's Guillotine still 30% accurate. Infestation damage on Skarmory. Magma Storm damage on Pelipper. And now Klefki gets to fire off another attack. Goes for Conversion and changes itself to a normal type. Do you know what? Get rid of all those resistances. Why not? Probably not the best play, but I don't think Klefki cares at this point because this is looking really good for Valerie. Amnesia going to raise the special defense of Florges by 2 stages, make it even harder to take down as these Pokemon continue to be chipped away at the end of each turn. Skarmory goes for Soak. I think you need to go for damage, mate, I'll be honest. It's not looking very good here. What will Pelipper do? Will it take advantage of the Soak? It goes for Aqua Jet. It doesn't even take out the Klefki. Klefki lives on a hit point. Skarmory now, it's looking really bleak after the infestation. There's the Magma Storm damage. It almost takes out Pelipper. Pelipper is not long for this world. Klefki now, with that Metronome, is going to go for Draco Meteor into, luckily, the Steel-type Skarmory, who resists Dragon. Special attack of Klefki drops by 2 stages and steals Skarmory's Leatherberry. When was the last time we saw a Magician pop? Crikey. There's a Matcha Gotcha, though, from Florges. Going to be 4 times resisted by Skarmory, but it's enough to take down Pelipper. I don't know if Skarmory can go the distance. 3 minutes to go. Can Skarmory take out 3 opponents, including a full health... Sorry, 4 opponents, including a full health Sylveon and Carbink in the back? Valerie has absolutely dominated this. Here comes Skarmory with a Meteor Mash to take out the Klefki. The attack raises. Is this the beginning of a comeback? I want to say it is. I'm not convinced, but stranger things have happened. No more infestation. Here comes Sylveon to join the fray. Here comes the Terastallization. Valerie has saved it till the very last minute, and Sylveon is terastallizing to a pure fairy type, which it already was, but now it's going to have even more boosted power to its fairy type moves if it should select them, even though they're not very effective on Skarmory. Skarmory is in danger right now. Florges goes for Leafage. It's not going to register that much. The 4 times resisted grass type move. Skarmory now, it's at near death, goes for Temper Flare into Florges. It barely cracks the scales there. Sylveon now, it's only a matter of time. Goes for Last Respect, and it takes out Skarmory. Skarmory is down. Winona with the most dominant victory, I think, of this season. Not Winona, Valerie. Valerie with the most dominant win of this season. My word. She goes forth into the quarterfinals. Who's going to be her unlucky opponent next week as we have Chuck taking on Erica? I don't envy either of those players. We have our wonderful Asian Ultra XL members to thank: Bro Metapod, Mumbai Cobra, Giakai 1, Night Angel, Cap Rider, and Toy Bonnie Vent Rabbit. Make sure you become a member so that you can support this channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Those stuff are all free. And I'll see you next time. Keep on training.